Sometimes the biggest ideas come from the smallest places. Today, we're taking a look at a local school science fair. We've got cardboard, we've got glue, and honestly, some surprisingly profound concepts. The students were given one simple task, and what they created tells us so much about what's on their minds. So the assignment was pretty straightforward. Just take a scientific idea, any idea at all, and build it. Make it tangible. And from that one little prompt, we get this amazing window into how the next generation is seeing the world, from the mind-boggling scale of space down to the very real challenges we're facing right here on Earth. So that really brings us to the heart of it, right? When you give a bunch of kids total freedom to explain science their way, what do they gravitate towards? What are the ideas that really spark their creativity, the things they feel are important enough to build with their own hands? Well, let's dive in and find out. Okay, so our first stop is, well, it's literally out of this world. It became pretty clear pretty fast that one of the biggest themes at this fair was a total fascination with the cosmos. It seems like for a lot of these students, the first step to understanding science is just looking up. And the most popular subject by a long shot was our very own solar system. I mean, project after project from students like Ayan, Samya, and Owabe, they all decided to tackle our little cosmic neighborhood. And you get it, right? It's a classic for a reason. It's huge, it's beautiful, and it's our home address in the universe. What's really cool is seeing what they all agreed on. You look at projects from students like Hanya and Ruxar, and they consistently featured the same lineup. The sun, right there in the middle, and then the whole gang: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. It's like this is the essential map of our solar system, as seen through their eyes. But this is where you start to see their artistic flair come out. Ruxar's project, for instance, wasn't just a diagram, it was a burst of color. She used these incredibly bright, vibrant paints to make every single planet pop. It was all about the beauty and wonder of it all. And then, on the flip side, you have Hanya, who went in a totally different direction. She used this stark black background, and that simple choice completely changes the feeling. It really emphasizes the context, that these beautiful planets are just floating in this vast, dark, empty space. Same subject, totally different story. All right, so from the far reaches of space, a lot of the students brought their focus right back home, down to Earth. They started exploring the fundamental systems that, make all of this life possible. And a big one, which we saw in projects from Hulain and Abdul Basik, was the journey of water. They broke it down so simply and elegantly into 3 stages. First up, you've got evaporation, the water rising up from the sea. Then, step 2, condensation, where all of that vapor gets together and forms clouds. And finally, precipitation, where the rain comes down over the mountains and flows right back to the sea to start all over again. It's just a perfect little loop. And that brings us to our third and final theme. And this one felt really different. It was incredibly present and, frankly, pretty urgent. The students weren't just looking at the world as it is, they were diving headfirst into the really tough issues of pollution and climate change. And that's really the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, climate change can feel so huge, so abstract, and overwhelming even for adults. So how does a kid take that giant invisible threat and turn it into something they can actually build? Well, their answers were incredibly direct and, honestly, really powerful. Just take a look at this project by Sufia Tahir. This is amazing visual storytelling. On one side, you have a thriving, healthy world. You've got clean water with fish swimming in it, lush green trees, clear skies. And then, right next to it, the other side of the story: factory smoke, dying trees, and harm to sea life. It's this stark, side-by-side look at 2 possible futures. Just wow. And Sophia wasn't the only one on this track. Other students like Aisha Abid and Wania Khan also zeroed in on the things causing the problem. Their projects put the spotlight right on factory smoke, on piles of waste, and on deforestation. They weren't afraid to show exactly where the trouble was coming from. But, and this is so important, they didn't just leave it at the problem. Across all of these climate-focused projects, a really hopeful and direct solution kept popping up again and again. Their message was incredibly clear and simple. If you want to fix this, you have to plant more trees. So, let's step back for a second. When you look at all of this together, what does it really tell us? It's obviously about more than just getting the science right. It's about how these kids are processing the world around them and finding creative ways to express what they see.
Someone at the fair absolutely nailed it when they said this. You can just tell this wasn't another homework assignment to them. You can see the passion and the genuine interest. The effort they poured into these projects is just tremendous. You can feel it.
Because really, in the end, this science fair was less about science and more of a gallery of perspective. We saw their raw curiosity about the universe, a deep understanding of how our world works, and a really clear-eyed concern for its future. But all of that was balanced with this tangible, powerful sense of hope. Ultimately, these projects take these massive, complicated issues and just distill them down to their very essence. They show us big problems with stunning clarity, and they propose solutions with an inspiring simplicity. It really makes you stop and think. When we're all facing these huge challenges, what can we learn from seeing them through their eyes?